lovely humans. So in a typical year, we would do bookworm assignments with your free reading book, and you would have some assignments to select from to show that you are reading your free reading book and actually reading it and making progress in that book, as a way for us to keep track of what you're reading and make sure you're understanding what you're choosing to read independently. So because this is not such a typical year, what we're going to do this year is try to share some of that same information with you in a slightly different way. So this is one example of one of the bookworm choices that you will be completing. And I'm just going to go through the directions on how to fill out this form. And if you choose to do this assignment, you'll have to complete nothing on this page because this is how your assignment will be graded, but you will be completing the information on this page. So I'm going to walk you through the directions so that there's not any confusion, so that you can get full credit for this assignment. So make sure you're tuning in now and come back and revisit this video if as you are working you can't remember what you are supposed to do. So here's what we are looking for. You're going to take whatever book you are currently reading. It must be a book that you have read this quarter. It's not going to be something from 6th grade or something you read over the summer. It has to be a current book that you are reading or one that you've just finished in the last week or so, or maybe week or two at this point. And then you have to answer these questions. You have to give 5 sentences describing what the character, and we mean the main character in your story, says or does. 5 sentences describing what that character thinks and feels. 2 sentences describing how the other characters in the book react to that main character that you're talking about. And 3 sentences that say what you, as the reader, think about that character, whether you think that they're making good choices or not, whether you agree or disagree with them, that kind of thing. And then, so that we can grade this properly, we obviously need to know the character's full name and the title of the book that you're writing on, so you'll want to make sure that you include that as well. So this is the page that you will actually fill out, and what you'll need to do is you will need to click here and you will type in your book title, and click here and type in the main character's name. Usually you do know both the first and the last name, but sometimes you might have a story where it only gives the character's first name. And if they do only give the character's first name, then put down the first name and then make a little note that they don't say the character's last name so that when we're grading this, we don't think you forgot it. Then when we get to this box, it says, what does the main character say or do? You have to have complete sentences. You can't just say, for example, laugh a lot. That's not going to work. That's not a complete sentence. So you would have to say, the character laughs a lot at the funny jokes that his mom tells. Or you would have to say something like, they like to give advice to their friends to help them with their schoolwork, or whatever the case might be. It needs to be a complete sentence. And if you'd rather use the character's name and say, like, Greta likes to, or Greta often says, or Greta, goes to gymnastics classes twice a week, or whatever it is that you're going to talk about in this box, that's fine, but it has to be a complete sentence. If you click by this number, it should let you start typing there, and then it should automatically move these down as long as you're working in order if you need more room. So the same thing for the character thinks and feels. You're going to do the same thing, complete sentences. You can't just say angry. You have to say, Gene feels angry when his parents get divorced, or whatever the case might be in your story. So you want to be specific to your story. You can't just say they feel happy. If you just say they feel happy without any reasoning behind it, that's not going to count for credit. So you want to be specific to what's going on in your book. Then when we get to this one, it says, how do others react to this character? So you're going to say what other characters in the book think about the main character that you're talking about. For example, we just finished Rikki Tikki Tavi not that long ago. So you might say, Nag and Nagaina really dislike Rikki Tikki and want to get rid of him from the garden. And then you might also say, Teddy loves Rikki Tikki and wants to keep him as a pet. You want to say what other characters think, feel, react about your character that you're focused on. And then this last box is what you think, you the reader. So let's say that I'm reading the book Walk Two Moons. This would be what I think about Sal in the book. Or if I'm reading the book Hatchet, it's what I think about Brian in the book. And it can't be, I like them, I think they're cool. It has to be something specific. So you could say, for example, I admire the way Brian works really hard to survive out on his own in the wilderness. Not just, I think he's cool. That won't work. So you're going to end up then, when you're finished, with 5 sentences here, 5 sentences here, 3 sentences here, 2 sentences here. So this assignment requires you to write 15 sentences about the book that you're reading or have just finished. And don't forget to do these 2 boxes, because we won't know how to grade it if we don't know the book that you're reading. All right, that's your first choice. And I'll be back in a few with your other choice and going over those directions.